All right, the director say it's a go.
Wow, thank you.
So Amanda, thank you for making time to come in here to do a session with me. And I think it's not every day that we find opportunities to go deeper into understanding who we are as a soul, and really explore the depths of like why we are here and where we are going. I think that is something that is kind of like universal, spiritual, even, right? We ask things like, who are we? Where did we come from? Where are we going? Yes, that is very spiritual, and some people love it, and some people don't. But what I really want to do as well is to go from a place that starts very spiritual, very abstract, very big picture, right? And then we're gonna fine tune in this session. You see how do we actually bridge it to the earthly world, to the practical world, so that whatever that we learn today and share today is not just philosophical or abstract, right? We can actually use it to anchor it into our day-to-day life. That's my intention. So before we begin, why don't you tell me a little bit about and tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what's your mission in the world?
Hello, everyone. So, my name is Amanda from the Philippines. I actually came from a background as a helper in Singapore for 11 years, and that gave me the strength to discover who I was into this world. And I asked these questions to myself: who am I? And what contribution should I give to the world? And during that time, I knelt down and I asked that to the universe, and I surrendered everything. Because, someone like me that worked overseas for 11 years, I was so lost in my life. I was lost. I was overweight and I was actually very sick. And I said, enough is enough. And my turning point was that the question I asked to myself, who am I? And actually, I hardly defined who I was before, but through mentorship, that's where I unlock everything that I have something. Even I was ordinary, we can be extraordinary in a way that pause for a moment. And that's the time that I discovered who I was through mentorship. So, and my vision in life is to create a platform where I invite all these creative minds from all over the world, interview them, because I believe that I could do it on my own, but together, like Chiron, I make things possible and to make this world a better place.
Yeah, and you're a coach too, right? You coach people in self mastery.
Yes,
And how would you define what self mastery is?
self mastery, it's something that it's all about me. Who am I? And I understand everything from the inside of me. So that's why I called self mastery. I understand myself from within, from the inside.
And as a result of that, how do you help people around you?
I help people around me by leading by example, by sharing my stories, what were my experience, my pains before, and that's how people can resonate with me actually,
Okay,
by leading by example.
amazing, amazing. So today I want to share with you something I developed called the personal philosophy, right? And the personal philosophy is something that where I call your guiding principles on how you make choices in life, right? And I think you can agree with me that every day we go out there into the world, the reality as we see it is because we have made the choices that we've made, right? Now, 90 to 95% of our choices are subconscious. And this is why the reality and the experience that we have is subconscious, right? And then, I'm sure you and I have experienced this whole thing of like, how did I get here? Oh my God, why me? Why in this situation? And I think that's the difference between like going, around our lives in autopilot and going through our lives with intention, right? So I've designed this thing, the personal philosophy, for anybody to live life more intentionally. And I truly believe that when you have more intention, when you understand your meaning and how and take full ownership in how you make choices, even though sometimes external life don't work the way we want it to be, I think there's more agency, more autonomy, more self-empowerment. So I would love to be able to go through this with you today and help you take the next level of evolution in your self-mastery.
So excited about it.
Yeah? Okay. So let's begin. And something that we should see this in the context is that even though this is a very mental exercise, we're trying to write a lot of things, there's a lot of journaling, and the way we get to our personal philosophy is something that I call compassionate self-inquiry, right? It's not about getting the right answers. So my intention for you right now is that as you go through this exercise with me, let go of all the answers, let go of everything you think you know, right? Empty your cup, and then really, okay, who am I as a fresh new person today? Because who you were yesterday and who you are now is completely different, right? You agree?
Yes, agree.
Right?
Agree.
We are all constantly renewing ourselves. So I firmly believe it's not about the right answers, it's about asking the right questions. So today I'm going to give you a lot of questions, and this is why you have a notebook right in front of you. You're going to be writing a lot of things. And another encouragement I ask you is to come from a place of curiosity and compassion rather than judgment, and because that will stop you from writing and being creative. This is so important because to me, this is the foundation for emotional mastery. Because when you know who you are, it doesn't really matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter what happens on the outside. So you're anchored, right? The three intentions that you're going to get out of this is number one, when you know your why, right? When you know your why, you can go through anyhow. And this is a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. It's a German philosopher. It's not about pain, fear, and stress. Pain, fear, and stress is always happening. But when we have meaning, when we understand our focus, when we live life intentionally, we go into the pain, fear, and stress intentionally. And then instead of that stress destroying you, you become empowered by it. Which I'm sure when you mentioned in your story, where you were lost, you found a renewed sense of meaning, and then suddenly the painful things are more bearable. In fact, it's very empowering, right? And you have experienced this before,
Yes,
right?
many
But
times.
Many times. So part of this process, you'll notice that, you will flash back to certain memories in your life, and then you remember certain things. So when those things come up, let it be what it needs to be, because I truly believe this. Within your wounds, within your struggle, is where your greatest gift is. Right, so this is what the first thing we're going to explore, right? The second thing why we are creating this entire architecture is because choices are made before options are presented. Like I said just now, 90 to 95% of our choices are subconscious mind. Means we don't make our choices with our logical mind. We make choices with our feelings.
True.
Right? Right? So when we do this intentionally, when we map out our guiding principle of how we make choices first. And then when the options come, then we get to pick. We don't make choices when the option comes. We make choices before it. When we go into the restaurant, let's just say for an example, which food to order, deep down you already knew your answer. And when the options come and you're gonna try to pick, okay, should I drink this or should I eat this? And you really think that you're thinking, but you're really not, you're just feeling it. And the feeling is reactive, it's autonomic. It's in our subconscious mind. But if we can write things down beforehand, before situation comes, that means our feelings can guide us to the right direction rather than destroying us. That's the power of this thing, and I really want to show you that. And then number three is that I think this is very connected to the rest, is that, do you know who Socrates is? A Greek philosopher, right? An unexamined life is not worth living. That's what he say, right? And like I said just now as well, it's not about getting the right answers, it's about the right questions you're asking. But what's really nice is that we get to rewrite our story. We grew up with a certain expectation, we grew up with a certain understanding of like who we're supposed to be, what it means to be worthy, what it means to be loved. But all of these things are expectations of society. I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be this. And we spend long enough of a time, that becomes our identity. So this process is going to help you re-question your stories, right? And to rewrite it the way you want it. I firmly believe, if you really want to take your self-mastery to the next level, you have to first be an author of your own life.
And I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah, you write your own book, you recreate your own story. I am not this anymore, this is who I am. But the thing is, there's always the next evolution. So today, I'm going to take you to the next evolution.
Oh, that's
Excited?
so exciting. Of
Okay,
course, I'm
cool.
excited.
Cool. All right, so I just want to, to mention this big picture understanding first before we go into the hows of how we actually go about it, right? So there are two things that's happening while we're doing this. Number one is there's a lot of journaling and a lot of writing, right? Trust the process. The other two is there will be a lot of visualization going through in the process as well.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so let's begin. I'm going to draw you something. I'm just going to draw it first, and then I'm going to explain it as we go, right? So, you might want to draw this as well in your notebook. Draw two circles, intersection circles. Okay?
I'll do the same, right?
Yeah, do the same. And then from here, create a triangle. And then there will be like steps over here in between. So let's start with passion. Because I know there's a lot of rhetoric outside, people talking about follow your passion and, passion's bad, don't follow your passion. Passion is selfish and passion is all this kind of thing. So it's very important that I define these words first because it's the same word and people use it differently and there's many assumptions to it. This is why I say, empty your cup. So the first thing over here is passion. And I define the way passion works is that it's an intrinsic desire, your authentic self-expression. It's kind of like when you're a child, whether you like a watermelon or whether you like an apple, you don't really think about it. As a child, you just know what you want. Or if you want that ice cream, right? Or you want to go out and play with your friends, or you want to stay at home. I think children are really honest, and we all have that, and it seems that when we grow up, we forget that, right? So passion is really this internal drive of knowing what you really want. But it's kind of selfish, right? Self-centered. Children are all self-centered, but they're cute, right? So, but they're self-centered, right? And because they are the way they are, sometimes they can be a pain in the ass. Have you worked with children before?
Of course,
You're
I
right?
have two daughters. Yeah.
Right, you have two daughters, and as a helper back then, you were dealing with children as well,
Yes.
right? There are nice, cute children and evil children.
True.
By the way, all of those children is within us. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it's happened to us.
Happened to us, right? So it's within us, right? So the way I see this is really our authentic expression, and it's not good, right, wrong, or bad. The problem with us today is that as we grow up, and I invite you to really reflect this on in your own way, is that have you gone into and moved through your life to a point where you feel like you need to do everything right, and then you forgot, what do I really want?
It happened to me.
Right? So everything is about right, wrong, and then you strategize, and you want to get it right, and you almost lose touch of this part of yourself. Okay? In a minute, we're going to go into this, but I just want to explain the concepts first, right? And then, usually on the other side of the equation is purpose. Like the things like, okay, what can I do to, help others? What can I give? What can I transform? But over here is filled with expectations, right? Expectations. Like I said, many people use purpose in a different way. This is not, when I use purpose here, it's not saying why, but what is your contribution to society, to your relationships, to the people around you? Are you a mother? Are you a coach? Are you a creative? Are you a storyteller? Are you a director? What are those things that we embody within ourselves with our skills and with our gifts, right? That we fulfill expectations and needs, right? Plus needs of other people, right? And obviously we don't want to be in any either extreme, right? I would say that this is where we want to be. And this is where I want to get you towards in a moment. And then I have another P word over here. When you bring those two together, your greatest potential, your soul, your higher self, the potential of that comes true. Just by looking at this concept, first concept, what comes to mind, and what experiences have you had, in relation to, these two?
Actually, I have all these things. The middle, of course, I'm still working on it. I call the middle as a fulfillment. Correct me if I'm right.
That's correct. Yeah,
The
fulfillment.
fulfillment,
Yeah.
the passion. I have the drive to do what I want to do that make me happy without other people's, telling me what to do, because I already know what I want. And the purpose, I know that I have a global purpose that so many people will get benefited to my purpose. Not
Exactly.
just about me, but it's all about the other people.
Exactly, right? And then the art of living, being human, and doing something that we can contribute to the world, it's about balancing these two, right? Because over here, the experience is excitement. How do you know that you are experiencing passion? Excitement.
Yeah, because I'm very excited every day to create something
Exactly.
that's make me happy.
Yeah. But sometimes when you create something that makes you happy, doesn't mean that the world needs it, or doesn't mean the world accepts it.
Not everybody.
Not everybody, right? So this is where we need to realign with purpose. And how do we experience purpose? Success. I did something meaningful, or even meaning, right? I did something meaningful. I did something successful. I went out there and impacted people's life. But you said something really nice just now. This means fulfillment. We all know out there we have a lot of successful people that are not fulfilled. Why? Because they have missed out the equation of excitement. I know a lot of people, excited, passionate people who can't make an impact and make any money in the world, and they don't have success and meaning, and they are not fulfilled. So I love what you said just now in a way that this is really fulfillment.
That's the
And
missing link.
that's the missing link. And in a moment, I really want to help you journal to how to connect these two. Do you have any questions for me so far?
All good. But of course, I'm still into the process
Yep.
of achieving that potential.
Yeah, we are always in the process. And let's look at it like in a way that we are constantly evolving ourselves, we're peeling the layers, and this is continuously going and
So
going.
I think I have a question since you asked, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, right, of course, I have to admit to myself that even though I already aware of who I was, but there is still like distraction happening and coming to our way. And then one day I said to myself, what this distraction means to me. But it's kind of like little bit long for me to pause and stay there. But there is a meaning into that. But how do you also deal with it? If it's just too long that you're sitting down there, you're aware, but the distraction is very strong.
Yeah. So I always say in this universe, and it happens in our body as well, this is why I can relate to the universe so that it's not so abstract, is that there's something called a homeostasis system, a balancing system. Whether in nature, whether in the universe, in the macro, in the big picture, whether it's in our body, in our cells, all the way to the little mitochondria, little thing that in there that you and I love to talk about, they also have a homeostasis system. And this is where when you say destruction, in scientific term, is what we call entropy, right? Where things continue to destroy itself and in greater chaos. But in the destruction, in the chaos, is an opportunity to be creative.
It's true,
Right?
actually.
And then when you are creative in the face of things breaking down, destroying, chaos, conflict, pain, fear, and stress, you find new meaning, you raise your consciousness, you evolve. Why and how and what for? So that it goes back to authenticity. Right? Not on the passion side, but authenticity where these two meets each other, and you're recalled that, oh, this is what it means to be me. Right? Because this is very selfish. Let me just put another color here. In a way, this is very selfish, self-centered, right? Right? And then this is very selfless, it's about others. And this is where I've created a new word for myself, where somewhere in the middle is called self-full. right? You know, like mindfulness, but it's selffulness. Meaning you stop seeing yourself as separate from other people. And you stop seeing other people as separate from you. And the destruction that you say and you mention is so that you remember what it means to be here. Spend too long here, the destruction will tell you come back here. Spend too long here, destruction will ask you to come back here, and it will not stop happening until we are here.
Okay, got it.
Right? So you know, my encouragement is you know to answer your question is like, okay, where are you leaning too much on? Are you spending too much time sacrificing yourself for other people? Boom, destruction, things didn't go your way, betrayal, miscommunication, conflict, boom, come back to yourself, right? Or, right, you spend too much in the spectrum of here, like, I just want to be me, right? I just want to do my creative things. Then no one comes to speak to you, there's no community. Then you can't sell anything, you can't market yourself, and you're stuck in your little bubble. Uh-oh, crisis, chaos, destruction. Why am I not earning money? Because you're so self-centered. I'm not saying you, but most people going through certain things. Then, okay, how can I serve better? How can I give more? In this side of the spectrum, you're giving too much. In this side of the spectrum, you're not giving anything. You're taking, like children taking. Adult, overgiving. Come back to the center, right? All right, so I would love to do a little exercise if you have no other questions. Is there any other questions?
All good.
Oh, good.
Very
all right,
clear,
let's do a little bit of journaling. All right, and let's just focus on your passion first. So the first thing that I want you to start journaling is what makes you feel completely alive. What makes you feel excited about, and let's just spend a couple minutes here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Amanda, you're almost done.
Yeah.
Would you like to share what you have written?
So what makes me happy is actually
Like what makes you feel alive and most energy?
being creative in a way that creating content and speaking. I love speaking, and I love sharing a story that can resonate with people.
Okay.
And
What else?
what did I write? Own my space to do my podcast.
Own your space.
Own my space to do my podcast, interview, writing,
Okay.
and leading a global team.
Okay. Okay, the reason why I'm not writing, yet for the global team or the podcast, because this is why we need to do this together, right? Because it's so easy to go into like the adult brain, that is like purpose driven, what the world needs from me, what can I do, and yeah, even it does excite you, but we are skipping certain steps, right? Over here in the passion, it's really very simple of like, it's like being able to do something without meaning. And is the gratification is because when you do that activity, it just energizes you. That's what really passion is about, right? It's self-centered. And it's okay to be self-centered, right? And from what I heard there, right, you mentioned a lot of it is about being creative, right? That means there's a part of you who likes to create. And what does creating means? Making something out of nothing. You enjoy that process. It's like I give you an ingredient in front of you, you do something with it. That is a natural intrinsic motivation inside of you that I just want to create, right? So how do you elevate your energy very high every single day? Is that every single day in your activity, you just have to create things. And then you do it either through interview, writing, speaking, sharing story. Owning your space is a creative process, right? And also leading, right? Leading people, guiding people, helping people. In that kind of sense, give you some sense of like excitement.
Did I forget about me being, love doing some yoga? I think I skipped those basic things.
See, those
Yeah.
basic things are passion, exciting. Like what else do you have? Like yoga,
Meditation,
meditation,
reading,
right? Breathing,
hypnotize my own self.
Hypnotize yourself means what?
Just like sitting down and surrendering
Connecting,
everything.
right? Self-connection, right? You call it hypnotizing, but yeah, it's self-connection, right? It means like you appreciate your alone time, you appreciate who you are, and you know, in a way, all these kind of things, self-care, right? Is also self-respect and self-love, and also really enjoying being very physical. So you're not someone who's gonna just sit all day doing nothing, right? That doesn't excite you, or watch movie and spend time in the computers for too long. You're someone who like, I want to go out there, hands on, you know, being able to do something, and yeah, even sitting, meditation, relaxing, yoga, they're all doing, but they're contemplative. They are really hands on. They are really embodied. So something that perhaps for you to pay attention to is that when you go out there and do any form of work, it has to be very hands-on. It has to be there's some active principle about it, not passive. Have you realized that about
So
yourself?
like for example, when I do my editing, is it a good answer?
Yeah.
Because when I do my editing, it took me at least 3 a.m. I will never stop until I finish it.
Yeah.
I really love it, and there is a fire inside of me. And I told to myself that I'm doing this. It's because I want my work to be impactful to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something like that.
Okay, let me just make a point on that, right? The activity of editing, probably not your best choice. Because
my
you're more active, you're more extroverted outside. Editing is not passionate and exciting for you. What's exciting for you is, we're going to talk about that because you're really touching on purpose. Your video impacting the world, which gives you the fulfillment. But I think you enjoy more being in the video than being behind the video, yes?
Of course, because that's the more on technical.
Right? So the technical things, from what I see here, it's not your excitement. And you'd be surprised there are people outside in the world that they find the technical things very passionate and exciting.
And can I say something? The reason why I'm doing the technical thing is that so I can understand the people who work in the team that
Yeah.
this kind of like they're working so hard, but me being there, I experience it, then I understand what
Yeah, that's
they're
great.
going through.
That's great. And this is where leading comes in,
Okay.
right? And it's not, I am excited to go do editing. No.
Yeah, that's take time.
That's not you.
Yeah, that's
That's
take
not
time.
you, right? That's not where excitement comes true to you. So if, right, you know that this is part of your life, and you have to, yes, sometimes we have to do things that we don't like, whether it's in business, whether it's in the creative work, whether it's in creating your dreams, there will be things that we don't like. But we need to understand, if it's not bringing us our excitement, if we spend too much time doing things we don't like, this is where the things that you love becomes the things that you hate. Then you burn out.
That's true. 100%.
Right? You saw that in yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
It happened to me in the past.
Right? This is where we get help. This is where we delegate. This is where we use AI. AI can speed a lot of things. Like, to me, I like to write a book. I don't like editing the book. Right? You get what I mean? So this is why it's so important to pay attention. Like, hey, what drives my energy to go up? It's here, passionate. This is why I say, if you're spending too much time, purpose, impact, success, meaning, and those kind of things, and you're doing those tasks that is not exciting, eventually you burn out.
That's true.
Because burnout is not working too hard. It's working too hard on things that is not exciting. Things that is here, when you do it, in the moment of the activity, you get more energized. Speaking, creating, writing, interview, yoga, meditation, breathing. When you do it, you get energized. There's no meaning to it.
And it's so natural.
It's so natural.
like,
Exactly.
It's like I don't have to work hard. Technical, no. I'm
Yeah.
just creating.
Yeah. This is the same thing for me when I coach, when I teach. Oh, I'm excited. I'm someone who likes to study and teach. That's it.
I'm getting it now.
You getting it now? Good. Because it's so important to be aware of that, because most people came to me, and I wonder if this happens to you. It's like, I'm living my purpose. I am doing meaningful things. Why am I still so empty?
And actually, there's so many people struggling with those things. They want to do something, they want to create something, but they're stuck because of what you shared. And I believe that people need to learn this basic, we, we can say it like simple basic rule, but if we skip this, if I skip it, then I will not go to the purpose.
100%, 100%. And this is where we need to unlearn, because in our society, we are expected to do meaningful things. We are expected to be amazing, to be worthy, and it's all really driven by this expectations, right? And this is where we need to bridge the gap. Okay? Ready to
Got
take
it.
the next step?
Yes.
All right. So let's go into purpose. In another way to say this, passion is what you need from yourself. Purpose is what the world needs from you.
Okay.
Okay, or what can you contribute to the world? So here's a question that I would like you to answer right now. There's two parts to this question. What problems in the world do you perceive to be around your life all the time? And then the second question to that is, what unique gifts do you have that could potentially solve those problems? All right, let's take a few minutes here.
This is exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, got it. So what do you have?
So what I see around me, they are being stuck. So many people, they have the dream and a goal,
Right.
but they don't know how to get it started. And at the same time, I also saw people around me having this problem, being overweight
Okay.
and confused,
Okay.
lost.
Okay.
Of course, it's around that is stuck
Yeah.
and they don't know what to do.
Right.
And the solutions that I can share is because I already gone through or went through all those experiences like pains, mental health, being stuck and lost. Then by giving a solutions to their problem, by sharing their story that can resonate with them.
So what I'm hearing is that everything what you see around you is that people have desires to change and transform and become a better version of themselves. But you also notice that they are not changing, they don't know how to start, and they say they want something but they are not doing it. And your gift and solution to this is to create stories, to tell your experiences, to inspire them, to speak, right? So that they can find it within themselves to take action and change and transform themselves. Is that right?
Yes, you articulate it really well and clear.
Yeah, right. So my question to that is like, when that happens, just like imagine that you finally fulfilled and you successfully did that. What experience do you feel within yourself if that happens? When you see someone transform?
So there's this like a child within me that what do I need to do to help them? But of course, I already have the solutions. So to share with them a tools
Yeah.
for them to execute.
Yeah. But my question is like, when it has already happened, how would you feel?
How do I feel?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Of course, I cannot say that I'm hurt by watching those people,
But when they transform, when they actually achieve what they achieve, how would you feel?
fulfilled.
Fulfilled, right? Fulfilled. Why?
Fulfilled in a way that I've seen them transition their life from being stuck to accomplishing something that they want.
Great. Hang on to that and ask yourself this question. Why is that important to you?
It's important to me. It is because I went through a life challenge that it's so long, like 2 decades. I was lost because I was surrounded with people who doesn't have a dream. They don't know how to get there. So that's important to me as well because, you know, the moment I experience that pains and struggles, then that's become my mission, that I have to do something to stand on those people.
So it's important to you because you've been through something, right?
Yes.
And you don't want that experience to happen to anybody else, or at least, I mean, you can't control it, right? But at least people should know that they have a possibility, that they can see the light even in darkness. That's why it's important to you.
Yes, I have a long story about that actually. So just now, when you asked me who I was, so when I was working as a helper actually in different countries in Saudi Arabia and then in Singapore, I've seen helpers. They seen us like nothing. But I said, whenever I heard someone, like for example the employers, they belittle the helper, I got hurt. I said, I am human.
There you go.
I'm not that, like they call me stupid. It seems like no brain. I got hurt. Then I said, I have to fight for my rights.
There you go.
And that's where I stand up on behalf of helpers that I advise them. We are not just a helper. We are helping the employers to have a better, to have a better life in a way that we are there to help them. Instead, they should appreciate us because they are inviting us to their home. But what I experienced was I became the strangers to their safe environment.
I love this story because what you just said is your why. Is your why. Why is it helping others? Why do you want to tell story? Why do you need to transform people's life? It's because of this. It's self-empowerment to reclaim your humanity. In fact, respect for your basic human rights.
I love that.
It's a powerful statement. You might want to write that down.
Yeah,
All right, self-empowerment to reclaim your humanity, your basic humanity. Do you feel that? That is now it starts to take a different tone. That now do you know why speaking, creating, interviewing, writing, yoga, meditation, all of these things that it's passion. These are all your gifts, by the way.
Thank you for reminding.
It's so important for this mission, for this purpose. And you're not just going out there, hey, let's go transform people's lives and become a better version of yourself. It's not about just personal growth for the sake of personal growth. You have a meaning of helping people see that their basic human dignity is not to be trampled by someone who has more status and just because they can pay you.
I love that.
And that's self-empowerment. And you become that symbol. And you're here to be that symbol through your life, through your story, through your expression. Purpose. And the more you live that with your gifts in passion, the things that you love to be doing, and you make it with excitement, boom, the fulfillment kicks in.
Love it. So simple, right? So simple, but it take time to really discover that.
Yep. And that's, by the way, whatever I said just now in that statement, when you bring those two together, that's your potential. And whatever potential that you have within you, when you mention about destruction, is to get you to remember exactly that. Empower yourself. Fight back your basic human right. Respect.
And actually, when that destruction triggered, I became very creative.
Exactly.
Like I create the things that I never think is possible.
And you
So,
want to
yeah.
remind people of that. That they can too be creative.